welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon if you're on YouTube, so you get notified of every time I go live. Like now, I post a new video. I am in fact streaming simultaneously on Twitter via my phone, on Facebook page by my iPad, and also on YouTube by my desktop. So don't forget to follow me on Facebook, like my page, follow me on Twitter, and like this video, and don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell icon like I said. So welcome to day one of Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month. So what is Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month? Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month is celebrating our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it. So it's a month that I founded back in 2017 when I published my Asexual Perspectives book. If you haven't yet got a copy of this, please go to Amazon, type in Asexual Perspectives or Barnes & Noble or Waterstones and go and grab yourself a copy, because we're going to be discussing parts of chapters out of this book for Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month. Obviously you can get the Kindle version really quickly on Amazon, download it straight away. You don't need a Kindle device, you can just download the app, right? So yes, this was a book that I published in 2017, which literally I interviewed 46 asexuals across the globe and across the asexual spectrum to talk about all manners and matters to do with love, life and sex. It covers pretty much every question you think about when you first discover you're asexual and about the asexual spectrum. So thanks for the thumbs up on YouTube. So basically, yeah, if you're new to asexuality, if you don't understand what the asexual spectrum is, then please get a copy of this book. This pretty much answers every and all questions when you're new to asexuality as to, you know, about asexuality itself. So there's a lot of myths and stereotypes that I bust through, you know, about porn, BDSM, kinks, having sex, all that type of stuff in here. There's both sex-repulsed asexuals and sex-favorable asexuals. There's aromantic asexuals, and obviously all the way through to heteromantic demisexuals. So it's a really nice spread. And so this is why I wrote the book, so you can see our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it. So, you know, instead of like gatekeeping and saying someone shouldn't be this, that and the other, there is no right way to be asexual, and this book proves it. It also, like I said, answers pretty much every question that I got. I kept getting repeated questions in private message, and people was asking me all these questions like, oh, I masturbate, can I still be asexual? I watch porn, can I still be asexual? Obviously, you know, you need to do some more research than that, but that's what I got this book for. There's advice to people who are just starting their asexual discovery, advice to younger version of themselves, like the pros to asexuality, you know, the benefits to it, how difficult it is being in a highly sexualized world, and you know what we can do about that, you know, to make asexuality more visible, for example. So it's a really, really good read. So go and get yourself a copy of that. So today's first day of Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month. I am streaming in 3 devices simultaneously. Hello on Twitter, by phone, lots of love to you. So I'm looking in 3 different places today. So really nice to have you here. So basically, if you're new to asexuality, like I said, there's a lot of myths and stereotypes, and there's a lot of people that put young people down. It's like, if you're this age, you can't know that you're asexual, and you know, you can't possibly know yet because your hormones haven't changed yet, right? This is a load of rubbish, right? I hate it when people put young people down as to not know their own mind, right? Just because you might not be at a certain age does not mean to say that you do not know your own mind, right? I knew at 15 years old that I categorically never wanted children physically in my life ever. I also questioned when I was 15 years old, if I had kids, would I like to adopt? My answer was yes, if I was having kids, I would adopt because I don't want them naturally, but I don't want kids. I realised at 15 years old, I don't want that lifestyle. It's not for me. And the doctor's like, oh, you'll change your mind. And it's like, I knew I never would, because I've always known my own mind. I always know what I think. I've always been my own person since a very, very early age. In fact, I was very old for my age when I was younger in birth certificate age. Now I'm older in birth certificate age. I'm a lot younger, so younger and wiser. So I had a 15-year-old who commented on my channel. Unfortunately, YouTube have deleted that comment. They keep deleting comments. But the whole point is I got it in the email from them, and they said that they were 15 years old and they're just not interested in sex, and their friends talk about, talk about sex and all that type of stuff, and they might have heard them saying like they're hot and all this type of stuff, and they just don't understand basically in the way that their friends do. They don't relate to that, and so they know at 15 years old that they're asexual, right? They don't need someone's permission to be asexual, some adult to tell them they are or validate them. They know they're 15 years they're 15, they're asexual. They watch this channel and they said thank you for not making them feel like they're not so alone, right? That's the Asexualise My Asexual Life channel on YouTube, where I'm streaming simultaneously on Twitter and Facebook at the moment, as well as YouTube. So it's very, very important to know that you can be asexual from a young age. I hate it when people put young people down, excuse me. And just because you're young doesn't mean to say you don't know your own mind. In actual fact, I think it's better for people to treat you at any age like your own mind, because this gives you great strength of character later on in your life, to know your own mind, be your own person, and to not rely on other people. So Sam is on Facebook at the moment. If I was aware of asexuality in my youth, I would have known I was ace around the same time everyone else was suddenly into the whole sex thing. I've never had any interest in it whatsoever. This is why asexuality should be part of sexual education. I totally agree with Sam, who's currently commenting on Facebook. So I'm going to read from the Asexual Perspectives book now, and I'm pleased to say we have got some young people in my book. So if you've got the book, I've got those bookmarks in here at the moment. The physical copy, page 151, is Zoe's Story, right? I'm going to be reading it out to you. Don't forget to grab a copy, like I said. So Zoe's Story. When did you first discover you are asexual? I was 11 years old. The first time I got an inkling I was different from other girls. I was in grade 6, just finishing primary school, when a couple of girls told me a boy in our class liked me. This was a foreign concept to me. I did not understand attraction. I wondered if I was supposed to like him back. I felt quite neutral about him, as I did all the other boys and girls in class. Sam never got it either, the sexual attraction thing. At the end of the year, we had a party for our graduating class. A boy, different from the one mentioned above, asked me to dance and kept asking only me throughout the evening. The other girls were giggling, saying we liked each other, and teasing me with the kissing song, Zoe and kiss, 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 sitting in the tree, kiss, 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 ING. Yes, I had those type of things going on at my school when I was at school, right? I was mortified and felt an overwhelming need for them to understand I did not like this boy in that way. I admit I felt flattered by his attention, coming as I did from an emotionally abusive background, but I felt no attraction to him. At the start of the next school year, age 12, grade 7, I returned from summer break to find all my friends, girls, had changed. They talked about hair and clothes, wore makeup and nail polish. I felt like my world had done a 160-degree turn without first advising me. What happened to all of them over the summer? Here I was, hey, let's play skipping rope, dodgeball, hopscotch, just as we'd done a mere 2 months prior. And they were having none of it. None of it. And so, yes. They wanted to walk past the boys, talk to the boys, hang around with the boys, watch the boys play sport. When had boys ceased to be this evil must be avoided at all times costs entities of our childhood. Next came high school. I couldn't even fathom that a term like asexuality existed. This was in the 70s, and I'd had a very isolated childhood. But the fact that I was different was cemented for me over the next 4 years. So we're talking from 12 to 16, right? I never had a crush on a boy or girl at that time. Never had a date, never wanted to go to school dances, never wanted to be around boys or even have one as a friend. I felt no physical, sexual attraction to the male of the species. A glaring opposite to what seemed like every other girl's situation. In fact, I considered boys alien entities because I just couldn't figure them out. Hindsight being 2020, I would say age 11 is when my asexuality started to assert itself, though I was unaware of what was going on at the time. So if you don't know all of my personal story, I had my first heterosexual boy 6 years old. Yes, 6 years old. So I explained on my channel, which was very difficult for me to come out about this originally, but I'm getting more used to talking about now. So when I was 6 years old, we were like kissing passionately, open mouth kissing, not French kissing at that time. I really enjoyed the kissing, even at 6 years old, but I didn't want the sexual touching that he wanted to do with me. And he was the same age as me, so it wasn't like it was an older person in that way. And yeah, so it was just really, really difficult. He wanted to do with me, really repulsed me, and I felt completely invaded and horrible and gross, right? And so looking back now, I know that when I was 6 years old, I was definitely 100% asexual. I wasn't into having sexual touching and stuff like that at all. You know, it wasn't what I was interested in doing. I just loved the kissing and the romance. I've always been like that, you know, from a very early age, kissing and romance, and, you know, that's my thing. And so, you know, it's obvious to me that I was definitely asexual, born asexual, just I didn't realise it. And so for me, it's been a really huge process of discovery, because I didn't realise I was in 2014 that I was am asexual. So it's been a really life-changing experience for the better, I have to say, because I'm around people now who really understand me and who get me. Right, so if we go to Sappo's story, page 141, if you've got the physical copy of the book, when did you first discover you are asexual? I was about 13 years old when I first heard of asexuality, but it has taken me until very recently, the last 6 months or so, to really accept myself as asexual. How did you discover you are asexual? This was to Sappo. So I was at a sleepover with my two best friends. I was at a sleepover with my two best friends. They're both gay trans men, but at the time we were all young and questioning. We turned off the lights and sat talking in the pitch black. We always found it easier to talk about the more taboo topics that way, in the dark. And we were talking about crushes when it was my turn to spill the beans about my angsty teenage heartache. They were both shocked to hear that I'd never fancied anyone. One of them told me I might be asexual. I didn't even know what it meant at the time, but I looked it up and eventually decided it was a description that fitted me. So, you know, that person knew from 13 years old. So we can clearly see that you know that you're asexual, can know you're asexual from a young age. I didn't know I was asexual at 6 years old. I didn't know that at all. I thought I was heterosexual for years, and I didn't find out I was asexual till 2014. So, you know, it's just, it was just what it is. You know, I didn't find out till later in life. But for me personally, I'm glad I tried sex. I'm glad I had it. I'm glad I experienced that. I think for me personally, I would want to know what it's like. But if I'd known that people found it painful, usually I probably wouldn't have bothered. But I actually, at the time, I didn't know. Everyone was saying it's going to be painful on your first time. So I didn't have that to worry about. And it kind of like, yeah. I was actually pressurized into the first time, by the way. So Asexual Guide to Sex is my next book that's coming out. So please, 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 if you're considering having sex and you're asexual, don't have sex if you don't want to if you're asexual. Plenty of asexuals don't want sex ever. But if you are considering about having sex if you're asexual, please, please, please do not have it until you have read my Asexual Guide to Sex book that I'm finishing off, because that will save you a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. You know, Sam, I have never done sex ever. I have never done sex, even having had several relationships, but I only discovered asexuality was a thing around 2013/2014, says Sam. So yeah, Sam's never had sex, and they're in a loving, caring, committed asexual relationship now with another non-binary asexual person. So true love is out there, people. So if you're looking for a relationship, asexual relationship, never give up, because once you've got the love of your life, it is incredible. I haven't found one yet, but when I do, I know that it's going to be amazing and well worth the wait, right? So, in South American Anonymous's story, when did you first discover you are asexual? This is page 443 of the book. Oh yes, and like I said about Asexual Guide to Sex, please don't try sex until you got our books. It will save you a lot of heartache and pain, because I was pressurized into sex at 16 years old. And, you know, and it's a book I wished I had before I did that. So, because some asexuals want to try sex, you know? So that book's for those that want to try sex, or those who are just curious to find out what it's like for an asexual to have sex, right? Because it's interesting. So if you're interested in that type of thing. Right. So anyway, how did you discover you are asexual? So this person first discovered they're asexual when they're around 13 to 16. And I used to think being genderless, asexual, and androgyne, I can't pronounce that word, were the same thing. So that's what they use. So basically 13 to 16, they used to think it's all the same thing, but they never felt any sexual desires towards any crush or icon they ever had. But I really questioned it, they said. I started questioning my gender and found out I was not only asexual but repulsed by sex. I always found sex gross. I always found genitals disgusting. I find my genitals disgusting, and I always felt awkward when people talked about sex near me or tried to seduce me in that way. Now, for me personally, I am really, really not into genitals these days. I mean, obviously I've had sex in the past. I'm an asexual, I've had sex in the past, so I've mixed with genitals before, but I'm really not interested in that, right? I get attracted to guys' face and frame, and, you know, I'm just really not attracted to people that, you know, below the waist. I'm attracted to guys only, but not below the waist. I like upper body, right? I'm happy to sit on a guy's lap, in between his legs if I'm in a relationship. Boys intertwine with clothes on the bed, they've got clothing on, but I don't need to see the genital area. It's not what I'm about, you know. I like intelligent conversations, lots of communication. Thanks for the thumbs up on YouTube. And, you know, I like lots of, you know, passionate kissing in my case, which is quite rare for an asexual person. But I like to, you know, I like, you know, a bestest ever friend type of relationship where you're kissing, cuddling, you know, talking about the world, planet, universe, just having fun in your lives, and you're enjoying having a beautiful, bestest ever friendship, deeply in love with each other, hugely emotionally connected. And it's really powerful. I'm not there yet, but one day I will be, and the guy's going to be as happy to be in a relationship as I am. And like Sam says, like I said, Sam has got their non-binary asexual partner, the love of their life. They finally found them. They were searching for 8 years. And I actually introduced them. So I'm really happy about that. And they're my best friends, so I'm really happy to give them that happiness for life. So like Sam says, they're well worth the wait. So some people like think it's you know, like, what's the point of being in a relationship if you're asexual? There's much points to be in a relationship if you're asexual, especially if you're a romantic asexual, right? You get romance, you get companionship, you get love, you get deep emotional connection, you get a person to spend time with you. It's awesome. So yes, never give up on your asexual dreams. So it's really important. But yes, there's lots of people in this book that'll find out. So we've basically said that from 11 years old you can know that you're asexual. There are lots of different people in this book. This is you know, there is lots of people in this book, and this is amazing, incredible read. So I mean, there's other people that discovered it like late teens. So this is Zoes Story. There are 2 separate answers to this question of when they discovered they're asexual. When I was 19 to 20, I discovered that I didn't particularly enjoy sex. and I would prefer a relationship without sex. It wasn't until I was 23 that I associated what I was experiencing with the word asexual. I thought asexual referred to someone who was uninterested in both sex and romance, and thus hadn't thought the term applied to me. So that is a very, 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 very big myth and stereotype that, oh, asexuals, like there's some myths and stereotypes, asexuals can't love. That is rubbish. Asexuals can definitely love. It doesn't have to be romantic love, but there are asexuals who experience romantic love, romantic attraction, right? I'm a romantic asexual. I'm an extremely romantic asexual, right? Which I think is a very hard category of asexuals to be in, because you crave a romantic relationship. You want a relationship, yet it's very difficult because the majority of the world are heterosexual and want sex. And if you're a sex repulsed romantic asexual, like I am, you do not want the sex. It's kind of like your options are more limited. But it usually requires you to move for a relationship or have someone move to you. People are like, oh, I can't find anyone. It's like, well, yes, you have to go out there and get the person. They're not just going to turn up on your doorstep if you're asexual, right? It's all about being proactive, people. Proactive. So when people say, oh, you've got to wait for the right person to come along, it's like, no, you go and get them, right? You make stuff happen, baby. Make stuff happen. So yes. And if you've been like, know you're asexual for a long time, since childhood, for example, and you are a romantic asexual, you will know that you probably looked at people. So where's a lot of these people in the asexual book I'm talking about at the moment, Asexual Perspectives book, they don't actually get crushes. They're not that they're not that interested in boys. They're not that interested in relationship. There are asexuals that are romantic in nature that have wished to have a partner for years and years and years, right? Because they've seen people grow up and couple up and pair up and marry off and be in relationships, and they're like kind of thinking, why can't I have that? But if they don't want the sex, it's kind of like really difficult for them. And so, they just like think, it's kind of like waiting their life for the right person. You've got to go out there and grab the right person, right? I'm an activist person. I'm an active person. Go and get them. So I think those type of people, if you've been waiting a long while to get a relationship, you have another person like that, when they come together, it's just beautiful. So Sam and their partner, when their time was right, they were ready for each other, because that's what they really wanted, a loving, caring, committed relationship, which is awesome. And I love spreading the message of asexual love and relationships. It's beautiful. And my friend John, he's married to his asexual, beautiful wife as well. So I'm so happy for them. They're so in love, soulmates for life. It's great. In Twitter they say, thanks for the awesome talk. You are welcome. Lots of love to you on Twitter. It's nice to go live on Twitter for a change, right? So quickly go to Victoria's story, right? Sam, first of all, Sam's got a message. I've been asked why have a relationship if you're asexual. This is very important, and told I have no right to use dating sites when I was on them because I'm asexual, despite being open about being asexual, as if sex is the only thing that makes a relationship. It can be a strong part of a relationship, but a relationship can work just as well without it. I love my partner very much. So Sam is absolutely right. Totally and utterly right. People, like I said, people are like, oh, like if it's like you can't have a relationship because you're asexual. It's got nothing to do with it. Asexual can experience love, different types of love, romantic love, some are non-romantic love. Asexuals can still be in a loving, caring, committed relationship. They can have a relationship without sex. Sex is not love, and love is not sex, people. This is true, right? So you can have a loving, caring, committed relationship. You can have a much more deeply emotional, intimate relationship than ever before if you haven't got the genitals and sexual attraction stuff going on, because you are focused on the person's mind, on the soul, on the spirit, on the emotions, on enjoying each other's company, on spending time together, on, taking part in different hobbies and interests together, on sharing goals, ambitions and dreams together, on sharing projects together. You're motivating each other. You're just having a great time and like building something, building a future together, building a beautiful love without sex future together. And that is incredible, right? It is wonderful. How friggin' awesome is that? It's incredible. So it's really important to know that if you're a romantic asexual, you can still have a romantic relationship without sex, but you might have to try a little bit harder, a lot harder to find your partner, right? Find your future partner and love of your life. But it's really, really important we abolish these stereotypes. Asexuals can love, asexuals can be in romantic relationships if they want to. They can be in relationships without sex. Some asexuals have sex, some asexuals don't have sex, right? Asexuality is a sexual orientation that is a lack of sexual attraction. So for a lot of asexuals, if we're not experiencing sexual attraction, we're not getting the need, urge, or want for partner sexual intercourse, there's no desire to have that sex, right? Some asexuals, they don't mind having the sex because they desire to be physically intimate with that partner despite not experiencing any sexual attraction, right? Some asexuals do things to please their partner. Other asexuals like participating in sex like a board game, which, you know, that's why I'll be doing the Asexual Guide to Sex book, to bust through all those type of myths and stereotypes. And it's for people, some asexuals are having sex still in the book, some aren't. So it's really, really insightful read, but it goes through the good, the bad, and the fugly about sex. So you don't want to miss that when it's out. I'm still finishing off writing. It's been 2 years in the making, that book, so I'm really super excited for that, you know, because we want to bust through all those myths and stereotypes. And for the asexuals that are thinking about having sex, it's very important we get that kind of like safety net in place of having a book of resources specifically for those asexuals, right? So like Victoria, like I said, Victoria is she first discovered she was asexual the night someone told me I might be, when she was 18 at the time. So with Victoria, how did they discover they are asexual? I had recently been part of a conversation in which everyone describes their sex life, who they found hot, and since when they had been sexually active. I felt so alien during that conversation that I felt horrible all day. All the feelings I had stored up about being different, childish, or weird started resurfacing. It got so bad that I got drunk and poured my heart out to a friend and basically asked what the hell was wrong with me. She suggested I might be demisexual. During the conversation, I heard the word asexual and asexual spectrum for the first time. The amount of relief I felt after this conversation is indescribable. After that conversation, I spent about 2 to 3 weeks researching asexuality and trying to figure out where I fall on the asexual spectrum. Ironically, it was after reading a demisexual's account of what sexual attraction felt like, I began to identify as fully asexual. So demisexual is someone on the asexual spectrum who can only feel sexual attraction only once a deep emotional bond has been formed, only and until, and usually they need it reciprocated, right, to maintain and sustain it. Someone who's fully asexual wouldn't experience any sexual attraction whatsoever, right? Because that's the definition of asexuality, is the lack of sexual attraction. And the asexual spectrum is, you know, is a spectrum basically of identities that are different in their way that they are attracted to someone sexually, as in asexuality is a sexual orientation, the lack of sexual attraction, if we look at the Wikipedia definition, and or little to no interest in sexual activities. So it ranges from the pure asexuals, those who are not sexually attracted at all, to those asexuals who can experience sexual attraction only under very limited, rare, or specific circumstances, like a grey asexual, for example, but not enough to want to act on it. You know, so it's either they can experience it in rare cases or not enough to want to act on it. So some grey asexuals might actually want sex sometimes, right? So the asexuality spectrum is hugely diverse and beautiful. I was reading from Zoes Story on page 104. 103, sorry. If you haven't already got a copy of this book, this is a new copy. This is my used copy because I read from it all the time. So if you want to follow along with the rest of the Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, please do grab yourself a copy of this, because I'm going to be reading sections of this every single day throughout the whole of July, because it is Asexual Perspectives Month, which celebrates our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it, people. And like I said, I thought I was heterosexual for years. If you wondered why I thought that, it's because I mistook arousal for sexual attraction. So yes, we do cover arousal in this book. In case you're wondering, you feel aroused but you have no desire to have sex with anyone, you can still be asexual. Right, but it's best you research it and do your full research before you come to that conclusion. And don't forget, we can always realise that we're something different if we want to, you know. So if you do, from a young age, say you're asexual, then later you do decide that you're not asexual. For example, you might realise you're demisexual. You might form a deep emotional bond with someone years later, And then you might think, oh, I do experience sexual attraction in this case. This is very rare for me. It can happen, right? But do not think just because someone is young, 11, 12, 13, or 14, 15, or whatever, that they do not know their own mind, right? Treat every person, every age group with respect and dignity. Understand that they are what they believe they are, just like we all are, right? Everyone has a right to be who they are, right? And many people can know they're asexual from a young age because they just know that they're not interested in sex whatsoever. I was never thinking about sex when I was growing up, ever. I didn't, I was just not interested in it. When I saw boys at school, I used to want to kiss, cuddle and hold their hand, predominantly kiss and hold their hand, right? And take walks with them and stuff like that, holding their hand. I was never ever looking at them think I want sex. This happened throughout my whole life, right? Even as a teenager, when I was 15, I remember fancying this bloke and I would go near his home and think, oh, maybe I'll bump into him. And, I liked his dark hair and his look, and I wanted to kiss him. And I thought about holding his hand and kissing him. But that's what I thought, right? I didn't think about having sex with him. And when I was 15 years old, if you don't know my story when I was 15 years old, please get a copy of that. Because obviously what happened when I was 15, you can tell. I just said to the guy, yeah, that's nice for you. And I didn't even realise the condom that he showed me, he was even thinking about using on me. But he wasn't. And that's what happened, basically. But read that story in Asexual Perspectives. It's a kind of a deep story. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. I want to say a very, very, very huge thank you to Sam, who has been in the comments chat on Facebook. I really adore them. They are my bestest asexual friend. And it's good they are spreading awareness of asexual love without the sex, and they've got their soulmate and they're so happy and in love. I'm really pleased for them. I cannot tell you. Sam has searched for years to find their soulmate, and they're truly happy now for life, and they love their partner implicitly, and they've only ever loved their partner. So I'm so happy for them, right? I want to say thank you to the person on Twitter. I know I can't see your name, but I know there's a person on Twitter that's been watching me all the way through, and there's other people. So big kisses for you. I don't know your name, but I can see your picture. So thank you very much. Thank you to Facebook. And thank you so much to my viewers on YouTube. Triple streaming today, people. Triple streaming. So thank you so much on YouTube. I got 4 thumbs up. So I really appreciate that. If you want to give this video a thumbs up, please, please, please do. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit the great big bell icon. If you're not on YouTube, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I can't see your name because it's like really faded on Twitter, so I just moved my head off the screen of YouTube, but I really appreciate you being here. So if you're on Twitter, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Make sure your follow notifications are on so you get notified every time I go live or tweet. If you're on Facebook, don't forget to like my page and follow it, because when you're following it, that's when you get notified of me going live, right? And usually under live videos, you can also click on Facebook under the live video to get notifications of the live videos on Facebook. I don't know if you knew that, but if you want to get every live I do on Facebook, on my Asexualise page, then go there and do that for me. Do that for yourself. Learn and educate yourself about asexuality, right? Because I've been educating asexuals now for over 5.5 years, over 5.5 years on YouTube, in case you didn't know and never heard of me before, right? This book came out in 2017, and the other book for asexuals, the next one, Asexual Guide to Sex, will be with us in 2021. So I'm so excited. Sam says they're really besotted with their asexual, non-binary, love of their life, just they're non-binary and also asexual. So I'm so pleased for them. Thank you so much, Sam, for spreading the asexual love. I love it. And thank you so much on YouTube. So YouTube, hit that subscribe button, bell icon, and Facebook, follow me. Like my page, and don't forget underneath the live video to follow the live videos. And don't forget on Twitter, I love you dearly. I don't know your name, I can't quite see it. I'm really sorry, but I love you dearly. Thank you for being here all the way through my stream. I really appreciate you. Lots of love to you. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, follow the tweets. Don't miss an episode, because I'm going to be going live. I'm planning to simultaneously live stream across 3 Shindoverse. Is that how you pronounce your name? Oh, that's a nice foreign name. I like foreign names and foreign guys. I presume you're a guy. Yeah, but yes. Shinichi. Is that how you pronounce it? Shinichi, actually. Shinichi. Yeah, I like Indian guys a lot, if in case you didn't know. Shinishi, I'm close, am I? All right, okay. Maybe I need to practice that. All right. Close. Oh, you're Japanese. Your mum is Japanese. Ah, right, okay. There's lots of love to you anyway. But anyway, you're all beautiful. Sam said, great video. Catch you later. We'll catch each other later. Lots of love to you. I'm going to go off now. Thank you for being here. Love you lots and take care. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Always stay your beautiful asexual self and live the life of your asexual dreams. Take care. Lots of love. Bye. Bye. I'm going to end the video now. Bye.